Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with my patch 8.2.5 end of war campaign cinematic discussion, opinions, whatever you want to call them. As you know, I dipped out of Battle for Azeroth end of January. I only resubscribed recently, of course, because of classic World of Warcraft. But I haven't been keeping an ear to the ground because the story has not been remotely interesting. The characters have been acting very bizarre. Apart from Varrock Saurfang, who's been written very well indeed. And his interactions with Anduin and the Alliance have actually been very good. And I've enjoyed those. And there was some good storytelling with Jaina Proudmoore. But the Horde side has just been a complete, with Sylvanas and everything, it's just been an absolute mess. Just a complete one-dimensional mess. And Ashara, just rushed nonsense. They had years upon years to develop the character, to, develop her as some sort of threat. And then when they do pop her in, she's just a token boss at the end of a raid who's one-dimensional. I'm bad. That's all she seems to do. So there's been a lot of missteps. But because I dipped out, I've spent a few hours this morning catching up on all the story. Watching videos about the questing, leading into the cutscenes, etc., etc. To get an idea. I must stress again, suitably unimpressed with the way that the story has developed so far, but have always been interested in the Saurfang side, because he seems to be the only well-developed character in this whole expansion. So let's jump to the cinematic. And it starts off with this first image. Saurfang, Anduin, and Thrall. And I must say, this is perfect imagery for Battle for Azeroth, right? Front center, leading, looking mean, determined, strong. Leader, obviously, because at front, Saurfang. Anduin, the boy king. Sure, he takes a step back. There's no drama there. And Beta Thrall. As I like to say in England, Beta. So Beta Cuck Thrall, just look at it. Look at his miserable face. Just looking dreadful. Just showing the distinct differences between these two characters. One who gave up. Now, I know because, obviously, Chris Metzen retiring, yada, 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 but they could have got somebody in to replace him for voice, yada, yada, yada. But somebody that's given up versus somebody that is determined beyond belief. So, the epitome of Battle for Azeroth right there. He's then scouting and having a look at Orgrimmar, and we see some incredible shots of Orgrimmar. Look at this one. I mean, one thing you cannot, in any shape, way, or form, criticize is the look of these cinematics. They are outstanding. I mean, outstanding. And every time I see one of these, I just say to myself, I'd rather have watched a 90-minute Battle for Azeroth movie than ever set foot in this expansion, to be honest with you. And gone nowhere near Azerite. Looking just incredible. Orgrimmar, obviously, you got the Alliance troops on the right-hand side. You got Horde troops on the left-hand side working together. And then you've got Horde troops here. One critique. We've been here before. We've been here before at the end of Mists of Pandaria. It just feels like retreading old ground. In actual fact, the whole expansion has just felt like Garrosh 2.0, but even worse. And that wasn't, I don't think, a particularly well-told story. So it's felt like Garrosh 2.0, with Sylvanas taking the Garrosh role. Not good stuff. Anyway, So they're looking at the battlements as well. Look at the level of detail. Just delicious. Absolutely delicious. Put some apple sauce on that and I'll eat it up. So Thrall says, hey, it's time. And then Saurfang, again, just looking incredible. Absolutely incredible. Strong, determined. A leader. Somebody to lead the Horde. You can guess where this is going. You could always guess where this was going. Thrall's saying that loads of people are going to die today. A lot of lives are going to be left. You have to forgive me. I'm going to have to take some of this for the throat. And then Saurfang says, well, maybe just one. And then you know as soon as Saurfang says that, he's going to challenge Sylvanas to one-on-one combat. Do you think in any way, shape or form, Sylvanas would have a fair fight? So immediately just like, groan time. So unless something serendipitous happens, it looks like things are going to play out in the way that they played out. So he calls for, whatever, the Klingon, the fake Klingon one. Sylvanas comes out. Why should I fight you? Because I'm a bad guy. And he's like, because you want to make me suffer. So he starts fighting with Sylvanas. He gets Thrall's axe. And they repeat what they said to each other when they met in Nagrand. Where Saurfang says to Thrall, you and I, we don't get to hide. But this time he says, you and I. And then Thrall says, don't get to hide. And then he speaks to Anduin, who he's had a really good relationship with. Like I said, the relationship between Anduin and Saurfang's been very good indeed. And Anduin gives him his sword, his father's sword, #arms warrior, to fight with it as well. So he takes those and asks Anduin to accompany him the further steps. Zappy boy, who gives a shit. So Saurfang squares off with Sylvanas. Obviously, I'm just giving a breakdown of what happens before I go into, thoughts and opinions. And Sylvanas is just ridiculously quick. He goes in full strength. She rather easily blocks it and then quickly swoops off. Cut. And then again, quick, whoosh, cut. And Saurfang's already down. Very quick, decisive fight. And then she decides to mock him. I trusted you. Look at these people. You're letting them all down. When you die, old soldier. She refers to him as old soldier, which was the name of that cinematic before Battle for Azeroth, which is a very good cinematic. All hope will be lost. And then he's like, you can't kill hope. After he sees Zappy Boy looking like Zappy Boy looks like. You can't kill hope. And he gets up and he's dropped Thrall's axe because of his wounds. He's only got Varian's sword. So he starts talking about how Sylvanas failed. You tried to kill hope with Teldrassil. You failed. You tried to kill everyone off at Lordaeron. You failed. You keep failing. It's a very good speech, actually. Because Varrock Saurfang's the only well-written character in this expansion. And then he smashes down on her, gets pushed back, and then splits the blades in two, because, of course, the blade can break into two, and then does a quick whoosh whoosh, just cuts Sylvanas across the eye. To which Sylvanas screams, the Horde is nothing. And then the flag bearer. I've already seen people on Twitter. Oh my god, I'm like totally shipping like Flaggy Girl. I'm gonna call her like Flaggy Girl from now on. She should like totally be the war chief and stuff, because like Flaggy Girl, I'm gonna ship that. Oh, fuck off. That's the WoW players of today. She turns ahead and she's like, the Horde are nothing? Hello? And then Sylvanas screams again, you're all nothing. Which is a kind of reflection on the fight between the Horde and Alliance, where she we kind of get to this angle before, but she screams for the Horde outside of Lordaeron. But now we have the same angle, and instead of her screaming for the Horde to rally the troops, she screams you're all nothing. So it's a complete 180. I see what they've done there, but Sylvanas has still been dreadful this expansion. Absolutely dreadful. And then Saurfang screams for Azeroth, to which she blows him up. She just goes, zhoof, blows him up. Varrock Saurfang dead. We're going to talk about this in a minute. Unbelievable. So Sylvanas then gives a I'm a bad guy speech. And then I'm going to play this next bit. And it's got to be seen to be believed, because this is one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen. Look at this.
Standing as one. Savor it. Nothing lasts.
Oh! Sylvanas turns into a spaceship and fucks off. Goodbye, Horde. My planet needs me. What the Oh, God. Oh, God, that is so embarrassing. When's that spell coming into the game, Blizz? Been able to turn into a faster than Superman flying black cloud of okay. And so they go over to Saurfang's body and pick it up. Although something quite interesting you'll see in a second. Thrall picks him up from his right-hand side. Anduin picks it up from the right. Obviously, there's a huge height difference, but it's still relatively level. Okay? Zappy Boy is also holding Saurfang from the right. So there's Thrall and Zappy Boy on one side and Anduin on the other. He would just go, okay, that's just by the by. So they say they're going to take his body home. And then they look at the flag woman, and she stays there for a bit, and then she goes... She beats the flag, which gives the signal for them to open the gate, and then the Forsaken on the battlements start clanking their banners in respect for Saurfang. And that is the cinematic. So, let me go into thoughts about this. First and foremost, well done, Blizzard. You just killed off the only character you've developed fully in this expansion. Not only that, you have killed off the only feasible war chief for the Horde. Who's a feasible war chief for the Horde? Thrall? Get out of here. Cuck beta male. Look at him. I'm miserable. Bane? No. Bane's not a viable war chief. Gallywix? No. Gallywix, for all the fun it might be, it's not a viable war chief. Lorthamar Theron? No. Underdeveloped character. Would only be figurehead. This character, all through this expansion, is the only well-written character that's literally displayed every single major characteristic of a leader. Not only a leader, but a strong, fair, just, honourable leader. The perfect person to lead the Horde. An orc, I think it's quite prophetic. Is that the word I want? That you should have an orc as the war chief. That might just be me though. But Saurfang has been here since the beginning of the game. He's gone through many trials and tribulations. Would have been absolutely perfect. Great, the only character that's had any good development. I must keep stressing that. So you put him as the figurehead, you put him as the war chief. Perfect. Now what? Now what? You're going to have just some token take it. Some token become war chief. It's ridiculous. Oh, it just frustrates me so much because the cinematic looks great. Obviously it looks outstanding. The animators are just obscenely good and all that. But the writing is so weak and lackluster and predictable. And as soon as he challenged Sylvanas, you could have almost, apart from Sylvanas flying like a rocket man over the skies, apart from that, you could have probably guessed exactly how things were going to go. Varrock's going to fight fair. Sylvanas isn't going to fight fair. Varrock's going to get killed because of it. Sylvanas is going to, either do something to expose herself. But again, Battle for Azeroth has proven to be not remotely a battle for Azeroth at all. It's been skirmishes on the Broken Isles would have been the better title. World of Warcraft, skirmishes on the Broken Isles. No war. Once again, a promised war doesn't deliver. The Horde and Alliance, once again, stand off. Nothing happens. We've been here 1,000 times. It's boring. And although earlier on in a cinematic they say that they're going to break the cycle, i.e. the Horde and the Alliance, it's about time that they started working together. We've seen instances of this many times. Anchorage, Ice Crown. We've seen many instances of the Horde and Alliance, Legion, cooperating with each other. And then it's just suddenly out the blue, oh, we want to go into all-out war again because writers just fancy that. So the battle for Azeroth once again turns out to just be a damp squib. A complete damp squib. Unless there's something unbelievably dramatic planned for 8.3. Something almost apocalyptic for Azeroth with N'Zoth. Then it just kind of goes down as a failed war campaign, a boring story that led nowhere, that destroyed more characters than built up, and the one character that they really built up, really developed, the kill off. Now the Horde are rudderless, toothless. I don't know. It's so frustrating because you just see how, look how great this looks, Look how great all of it looks. Oh, it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. But the storytelling has just been such a letdown. Look at the level of detail. It's obscene. Obscene in an incredible way. Varrock deserved better. His character deserved better. For the way that it was written. This, if anything, when he challenged Sylvanas, Thrall should have gone, no! No. You led us here, old friend. You brought the Horde and the Alliance together. I was the one who failed you. I was the one who let you down. I was the one who left. This is my fight. You brought us to this point. Let me, the younger, stronger fighter, let me take Sylvanas. And then, even if Thrall was to get defeated and killed by Sylvanas, then at least it would have given Thrall some sort of redemption after being such a coward. Oh, I've got a wife and kids now. See ya. See ya. See ya. Bye. Deuces. At least it would have given his character some sort of redemption, and Chris Metzen can go back into his retirement again with all his tens of millions of dollars. And then you have Saurfang, when Sylvanas boogers off, to take ownership of the Horde. Strong, Character, not only strong, honourable, and all the things I mentioned before, but has a relationship inbuilt already with Anduin, which makes the whole Horde and the Alliance coming together so much more organic, because now Varrock was the bridge between the two, and now Varrock's dead. There's no real bridge. We're back to this tenuous relationship again between the Horde and the Alliance. So although they said let's break the wheel, that linking, that connection that was there, that was going to give it strength, is gone. Gone. Oh, very, very frustrating indeed. Very predictable, sadly. And best character of this expansion by a country mile killed off. But there you go. I know I've gone on for a bit, but you know, such is things when it's the World of Warcraft. But you know, for all the great technical skills that Blizzard has, for all the great animators, for all the you know, great people who, just the great staff, the workers, the workhorses, the cogs in the wheels, they're the, you know, they're the war horses of the company. The writing has just been so poor for this expansion. So poor. Such underdeveloped villains again. For the umpteenth expansion now. Pretty much since Arthas is gone, we've not had a well-written, well-fleshed out villain. Can't think of any. Really can't. So, yeah. There's a huge gap there. There's a huge hole there. There's a huge disconnect there. And I don't know how much of this Christy Golden did. Sorry. And I'm not blaming her. But it's just, I had high hopes. I did have high hopes when I heard that she was taking on writing roles. So I don't know what she did. I don't know what she was part of doing, but you know, a lot of this to me is really missed the mark. But there we go. So, hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch live streaming links. They're in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.